Sometimes you're working on an AI project and everything's going great until you hit the wall of, okay, where do I actually get all the training data? Folks, that's usually the part nobody talks about. The hours of copying text, sorting pages, and trying to keep everything consistent. So today, we are fixing that. My name is Daniel, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to collect clean, structured website content automatically using a tool called Apify. By the end, you'll see exactly how to build a full dataset for training your own AI model or powering a custom chatbot, all without doing any of the manual work. Guys, make sure you check out all the useful links in the description after watching this video. There might be some nice discounts there. Alright, let's jump in. So here's the thing, guys. If you're training your own AI model or building a chatbot, the biggest challenge is getting high-quality training data. Collecting information manually from dozens of websites, or even just your own, can take days or sometimes weeks of work. But there's a tool that automates this entire process. Today, we're using a platform called Apify. It's an ecosystem designed to automate data collection from websites. Here you can find different scrapers for platforms like LinkedIn, Instagram, and more, all built and maintained by different devs. And we're looking specifically at their website content crawler, a tool made for preparing training data for large language models like ChatGPT or Claude. This crawler automatically collects and structures content from any site. It understands different formats, from basic HTML to JavaScript-heavy websites. It can go through hundreds of pages, extract clean text, save metadata, and even integrate directly with LangChain, OpenAI, and other platforms. Okay, folks, let's see how it works in practice. We're inside the website Content Crawler Setup console, and we'll head over here. Now we'll add our URL. This is the most important field. This is where you paste the website addresses you want to collect data from. I am going to crawl techwire.blog to gather their tech-related articles. If you need multiple websites, you can add more using the Add button. Below that, you'll see two important checkboxes. The first one, Load URL from sitemap, automatically finds all the pages on a site using its XML sitemap. Now, this is super handy, guys, because you don't need to manually enter every single page. I'll keep this enabled. The second option tells the crawler to play by the site's rules. That file can block access to certain parts of a site. I recommend leaving this option enabled, unless you've got explicit permission from the site owner. And in general, it's best to use this tool only on your own websites or on sites that allow crawling. Under the crawler field, we choose the crawling mode. By default, it's set to adaptive switching between browser, Android, HTTP. This smart mode automatically switches between fast scraping and full browser rendering depending on how complex the site is. For most situations, this is the best option, so we'll leave it as is. In the crawler settings section, you can control how deep the crawler goes and what parts of the site it should or shouldn't scan. Here you can include or exclude specific links you want to collect or skip, and everything is fully customizable. Now let's look at a few important settings, folks. The checkbox Ignore external links. I recommend keeping this turned on. Otherwise, the crawler might follow outbound links to other websites and end up collecting a bunch of data you don't need. We definitely don't want that. Max crawler depth controls how deep the crawler goes into the site. Basically, it's how many clicks away from the starting page it's allowed to travel. For a blog, a depth of 3 to 5 works well. That way, it collects the main articles and sections without digging too deep into the structure. I'll set it to 3. Max page limits the total number of pages the crawler will collect. Guys, for a test run, I'll set it to 20 so we don't use too many resources. For a full crawl, you can leave it blank or set a high number. Next are the performance parameters, initial concurrency, and max concurrency. These control how many connections the crawler uses at once. Higher numbers mean faster crawling, but also more load on the target website. For safe crawling, it's best to stick to the default values. Minimum file download speed is the minimum loading speed allowed for a page. If a page loads slower than this, the crawler will skip it. The default settings work well for most cases. In the HTML processing section, we have options for preparing data for your LLM. This is where you configure how the crawler cleans, and structures the content it collects. Guys, before we move on, I try to make my content fun instead of boring. And in return, please like this video and subscribe to my channel if you enjoy the content I make. The first option, wait for dynamic content, tells the crawler whether it should wait for JavaScript content to load. Most modern websites load text dynamically after the page opens, so this setting helps capture that content properly. If you leave this field empty, the crawler will start collecting data right away. The Wait to Selector field lets you add a CSS selector for a specific element the crawler should wait for before grabbing content. This is helpful if you already know the structure of the site, guys. Next, soft wait, guys, means that if the crawler doesn't find that element, it won't stop or throw an error. It just keeps going. Remove HTML element is an optional setting that lets you strip out unwanted parts of the page before processing, like navigation menus, footers, sidebars, or ads. Guys, none of that is useful for training AI models. Here you simply add the CSS selectors for anything you want removed. There's also a recommended default set, which helps clean up technical noise and keeps only the meaningful article content. Remove cookie warnings automatically hides cookie pop-ups and GDPR banners. These often block content and can accidentally get scooped into your dataset. In the Output Settings section, you choose the format of your final data. Now, folks, this matters because it affects how easy it'll be to use the collected text for model training. For text output, Markdown is the best option. It converts HTML into clean, readable Markdown. Simple formatting that works perfectly for AI training. You keep headings, lists, links, and structure, but without messy HTML tags. So we'll stick with that. Finally, in the Run Options section, you set up the execution power. Build refers to the actor version. Beta, version, canary, and stable are just different release types. Threads is how many parallel processes you want to run. Timeout is the maximum time the actor is allowed to work. Memory is how much RAM it can use. For collecting text, something like 2 GB is usually enough. If you plan to crawl thousands of pages or download large files, you can bump it up to 4 or even 8 GB. Now, my friends, let's click Save and Start and wait for the actor to run. You can already see it starting up and pulling text from the blog. You can view the results as a table or in JSON format. Markdown view is also available, which is handy for checking all the fields. Looking at the collected data, here are all the articles from my site. This dataset works well for training a model. The crawler grabbed a mix of content from across the entire blog, from tech topics to science. Each article is captured fully, with the headings and all the text. Mates, it's a clean dataset for training an AI model that focuses on the topics covered on the site. So now all the data is collected, verified, and ready to go. The next step is exporting it in a useful format, folks. When you click Export, you'll see the list of formats you can download. You can choose View, Markdown, Text, or all fields. Then choose an export format: spreadsheet, structured data, HTML table, or RSS feed. After choosing the fields you want, just click Download to save the dataset. Now we can upload this dataset to Claude, ask it to analyze it, and get an overview of the content. Folks, it sees all 20 articles, summarizes them, and asks what else we want to explore. We can ask questions based on anything in the blog. This is the value for sites in your niche, guys. You can train an AI model on your own content and then create a chatbot that answers based specifically on your website. That's essentially what fine-tuning is for. Claude gives us that summary, and we can continue asking anything we need. Alright, my friends, so that's the whole workflow. As you just saw, Apify basically takes the hardest part of building an AI project, gathering clean, consistent training data, and turns it into a simple, automated process. No more copying text, no more messy formatting, no more guessing which pages you have already saved. You just set it up once, hit start, and let it collect everything you need. Mates, if you want to try this out yourself, check the link in the description. It's really worth playing with, especially if you're planning to train a model or build a chatbot that actually understands your own content. And before you go, let me know in the comments what kind of AI project you're working on. Are you building a bot, training a model, or just experimenting? I'd love to hear about it, and I might even make a follow-up video based on your questions. As usual, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, until next time.